before our last event teaching, where we were teaching people, I took all the guns apart and we're cleaning them and putting them back together before the event. And I was doing that up in my dining room, and I had just finished cleaning a pump action shotgun, and I was loading it and racking it and watching all the stuff coming out, making sure it wouldn't jam up. And so as I'm sitting here pumping, unloading these shells out of this shotgun in my living room, I hear from outside the window, it's me, the Amazon guy, just coming up to drop off one of your packages. And so I quickly put down the gun and went out to meet him and tried to be as friendly as I could to let him know I was not going to shoot him.
That's the first thing I'm going to do, picking this thing up. This is our safe direction. My finger's off the trigger. First thing I do is check this magazine well and make sure that that's empty. So there's nothing in that magazine well. The next thing I do is check the chamber to see if it's empty. And I do a visible check, that's clear. We do a physical check, that's clear, and we say those out loud. And then we're going to dry fire this thing. And we do this into a bullet trap. So dry firing, and that's clear. So that's 4 checks that we do to make sure that each of these things are cleared before we are going to chop it up.
Sometimes I put some stuff on top of the forge. That's like a trigger I was gonna stamp. And these are little pieces I was trying to figure out what I could make from and do with. These are all barrels of guns. You can kind of see in there that little mark where we beat them down. And this one is on its way towards a tool called a weed worker. This was a Remington 22. These are shotgun barrels, different lengths. There's like a double barrel shotgun. And then in here, these are other rifle barrels. And we can make different things. That is a 50 caliber black powder rifle barrel. That's some of the best steel that we have for making things.
So on the day that the Raw Tools had the first event in Asheville in June of 2024, we went with my younger daughter, and David had his gun, and he was willing to turn it in. Also around that time, my grandson Jacob, who lived upstairs, was shot on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and he had gone up there with a friend, and he had a gun with him that he had, we think, stolen. We don't know where he got it. And he has struggled with substance use. So he was shot 5 times and
lived.
Yeah, and so he was in the hospital for 10 days, and he was very, very lucky that he survived.
But it missed his heart. It didn't miss it by much.
Yeah, luckily it wasn't the kind of gun that would do as much damage as other kinds. And we actually got to see them saw the gun up, which I thought was was really, really exciting. And then they had some of the garden tools that they had made ahead of time, and then they had some of the jewelry, and I was very excited to buy the little heart. I thought that was really, really pretty.
And we have like make all different kinds of hearts. Some people like your tall, skinny heart. Some people like your short, fatty heart. Some people like them little cattywampus. Other people like them real symmetrical. So we make different ones, you know, for whatever type of heart you have or feel called to. So this is a pistol barrel, and all right, there we go. So I'll clean that up. I need to straighten that up a little bit. Do a little straightening here and there, that. I want to clean up that little side so it's, this is called normalizing. You get it up to its critical temperature and then you let it cool outside of the forge, and that just helps all the electrons in there move around and take this on as its shape. We'll make it a little bit stronger.
On June 17, 2015, a young white supremacist walked into Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church with a plan in his head to start a race war. In the church, they had just completed a meeting, and they continued on with the Bible study. They invited this young man to participate in the Bible study, and after listening to Mark chapter 4, they're standing up holding hands, and he pulls out his weapon and begins to slaughter 9 people, which included my mother, Mrs. Ethel Lance, 2 cousins, Cousin Susie, Cousin Tywanza, and then there were 5 survivors.
It's a college project, a school project.
Oh, cool. What are you filming?
Raw tools. This, we take unwanted guns and turn them into garden tools and art.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
A whole community, a whole nation was affected by the horrific violence that happened in a church that had always been about freedom. Peace is the only way that we're going to be able to extend love to people we don't know, to extend love to our enemies. This is what peacemakers are about.
That whole thing about turning the guns into garden tools and all of that, and Shane gave me one of the tools that was made out there that day, and that's one of the treasured things that I have.
Ah, good.
Yeah, it was something. To be able to put all of that into words, I don't know if I've been well, but anyway, it was something.
it's taken out anger, and that's legit.
Yeah.
That's part of healing.
Yes.
But it's also turning something into something new.
Right.
There's some creative stuff in there.
It's cathartic, and maybe it was wrong to see Dylan Roof's face, but I was still kind of new. So it must have been a year or two that happened. So I was still in the mix of all of those feelings, and to have the opportunity to hit that anvil, just, and like I said, I called each 9 name. It seemed like by the time I got to the 9th name, I was spent, but I felt this release.
That's all right. This is a sign I want to split to make the all good. Destroy the AR.
I wish every survivor of something could have the opportunity to do that. Because I do believe there is going to be a moment in that actual hitting that releases something. It's like you might still be angry, but the anger isn't so palpable.